attract and keep the attention of the audience throughout the movie. There is a famous formula which is famous with print media, the electronic media, and radio anchors and all. They use the 3-tier formula which I am going to describe to you. The formula is like, tell them what you are going to tell them, then tell them actually deliver the content, and after delivering the content you again tell them what you just told them. So this basic simple 3-step method simplifies your speech into a memorable one, and it keeps the attention of the audience. Okay, so how do we start? Then, first of all, you need to develop an introduction. What is the introduction? The introduction catches the attention of the audience. It tells them what is it in the speech for them. You could start the introduction with anything like a unique thing, a statistic, a quotation, a story, a question, or something. Then we have the body, which contains main ideas or points and their supporting material. Each idea is supported by some facts, figures, or thoughts. Then we have the conclusion. Okay, so this is the overall ground for your speech. Within this ground, your speech will be the most effective if you stick to this formula. Okay, so where do we start then? Okay, so where do we start? First of all, you need to list key points as they come to you. Just start preparing a speech and you list all the main points that you want to cover. There could be thousands of points, but you will have to list them. This will make the task a bit easier, because if you start working on the introduction first or the closing first, you can get confused. So the first step is write down everything that you want to say. Okay, now you have everything that could be possibly covered in the speech. Then you have to listen in the order of the priority, or in some logical order. For example, if you are when you talk about organizing a meeting, you can organize your ideas like before the event, during the event, and after the event. This would be a logical order for organizing a meeting speech. Then you need to expand these points, because you cannot be speaking only in terms of the bullets. You have to speak there. So you have to expand the ideas into a speech, a complete speech. Okay, now you have the speech. Now this is the time to develop your introduction. As I told earlier, you have to analyze the audience, and if they are sleeping, you have to bang with something like that catches their attention and wakes them. You can start asking questions. You can start a rhetorical question, a stunning fact. So some things like these will make the introduction more suitable for them. So why they should listen to it? This is the answer that they are seeking in the. And you also need to give an outline of what you are going to tell them, so that they know what to expect during the whole presentation. And finally, develop a close. You have told them something of value. In the close, you need to reiterate those same points that you spoke in the beginning and expanded on during the presentation. In your close, you also need to include some memorable fact about the stuff that you're talking about. You can also again tell a story, or you can ask again a rhetorical question, so that the idea freezes in their mind and they leave with a memorable message. Okay, there is a concept of mind mapping. We have talked about writing down your developing a formula for your speech. So this is the organization for this particular speech. We talked about the diagram formula. We talked about developing the main ideas first, and we talked about developing the outline. So a mind map is like, it works like in the same way we ourselves think. We do not think in words. Our mind thinks in terms of circles or ideas. So this mind map helps you in developing the speech which you are going to deliver. We have used mind maps when we were in school, when some teacher used to tell us some lectures. Some students start taking notes and symbols and start using symbols, their own shorthand. Some people develop. So this is, or the computer programmers use these maps to program their softwares. So this is a very widely used technique in communication, and you can use it to develop your own speech for making it more effective. Okay, so this is an example of how you are going to use your mind map. First, the central idea is written in the middle. What you are going to talk about, you have to stick to it during your whole presentation, and you keep writing your ideas here. You can write 2 or 3 ideas here, and what you are going to include more in the body, you can write here, and you can write more about introduction and end. You can add your ideas here. So in this way, your mind will focus on one thing at a time, and as the ideas come, you can write those ideas there. But do not write too much. If you want to add specific quotations like large quotations, then you need to put asterisk, maybe something like that, and write it somewhere else for your reference. But use it, try to make it as simple as possible. Okay, so this is how we have moved with this presentation. The main idea is in between, listing your points, then you arrange, then you expand, then you develop intro, and then you develop close. This is the mind map of your presentation. How you are going to work on those presentations. These are the steps that you are going to follow. Okay, closing. Again, closing should be memorable, and you need to reiterate what you have told them during the presentation. And you can include again a story, a very memorable quotation, and you need to reiterate your main point in a memorable way. That's the main point or idea behind it. So you have you tell them what you're going to tell them, actually tell them, and you get the closing, again tell them what you have just told them. So this was about organizing a memorable and effective speech that captures the audience attention and keeps it organized in a way that does not cause them to bore. So this was about logical organization of a speech, and we will now take a few questions.